Hey, my beauties, good morning to you. Beautiful people, I saw something on the Jamaica Gleaner online, coming from the newly commissioned Dr. Kevin Blake, the Commissioner of Police, as it relates to gender based titles for the female police officers in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. That the force order, in the recent force order, that they want to abolish such terms, maybe, archaic terms, or maybe terminal. He didn't, archaic wasn't the word that he used. A term, it says he wants to move from, something that was just sort of stagnant into something more progressive, because we want to acknowledge the contributions and the hard work done by a number of the female police officers and so on. But my question to the Commissioner of Police et al. Is, when you remove it, I figured that would actually, take away from highlighting the contributions of the female police officers. In other words, when you have, for example, woman constable, so and so, woman sergeant, woman inspector, so that we know that it's a female, you are giving them some sort of credence, some sort of accolade. You're highlighting their two positive effects that you're highlighting to the human brain. Wow, this is a female who has done the work that, generally it is considered a male dominated kind of role, or generally males take over. Secondly, my other question is, because it would seem like a more takeaway of highlighting the very same thing that you said you want to be transformative. Secondly, there are certain operations that I'm thinking about as a female, coming from a very feminine mindset, not from a feminism perspective, meaning I'm female. So I'm speaking as a feminine one now, a female. That there are certain operations that, I've often said that equity must be for all, justice must be for all, fairness must be for all, equality needs to be where it is needed. So yes, you want to say that we are all made equal as humans, as men and women. No, there are certain differences. There's a criteria that has been given to men innately, and there are a set of criteria that were given to women innately, that we have that symbiotic relationship and effect that is dynamic, that is harmonious, that is unified, and that works. It's the right puzzle, the right piece to the puzzle area that is missing. It's the right ingredient. So there are certain operational activities or certain operations that, for example, that you would consider really dangerous, that may not necessarily be befitting for a female, because it may require that masculine strength that the female doesn't possess. So it may behoove you to know that when you're looking at the force order, the listing of people, you can say, oh, this is a female. It may not be wise. I never use the word right. It may not be wise for the female to go on this. Notwithstanding, you do have females who are okay doing certain jobs, as dangerous as they may be, as rough as they may be, because you have women on construction sites and so on. But there are some things, even though they're probably there, they probably can't do the arduous duties because of the fact that we don't have the masculine strength like men. That is why I'm saying, even though we're made equal in the sight of God in terms of humanity, the basic form of humanity, there are certain things that, as I said, certain elements or criteria that are given to men that women don't have, and vice versa. We just have to live with that. That is how we are created. We can't uncreate what is created. So when we take away that gender distinction, that gender-based or gender highlight, it will, to me, send it back into the Stone Age. It's like a regression. It is not a progression. So I'm not seeing the benefit of that, to be honest with you. It won't take away from the contributions of woman to say woman constable, so and so, woman sergeant, so and so, woman inspector, and as it goes up, there's no. It doesn't take away from the contributions. It even promulgates it, Because no, when somebody looks at the first order, when they're looking on your website or when they're looking here, there, and they see woman so and so, and they're seeing it, so it's a double positive to the mindset. You're seeing the term, you're seeing the word woman so and so, plus you're seeing a picture of the female, and you're highlighting all of what she has done. So it doesn't take away. It is not necessarily a move of transformation, you know. And as I said to you, that as much as we're humans and, you know, you want to create a sense of equality, especially as it relates to finance and the contributions that the female and male officers give, and you want to make everything on a playing field by saying woman constable versus just constable so we know the distinction, it's fine. I don't want somebody to mix me up and say, sorry, hey, miss, hey, sir. I like the fact when they say lady, woman. I want to bask in my femininity. I want to bask in my womanhood. There is no need for that to be changed, sir. In other words, I find that I'm more than a bit disappointed, but I'm using that, to say the least, that this would have been a directive that would come out now as based on where Jamaica is right now in relation to crime and to violence. That we're coming again with some gender-based identity, what you would probably consider, and I'm using crisis, maybe that's too strong of a word right now. That's not an issue. That is certainly not an issue at all. It should not even be brought to the books, certainly not even now. It does not, to me, it probably now will take away. It now will take away when you're looking at certain things. And, somebody has to think, that it was actually a female officer. Sometimes it may even be forgotten that's a female officer, especially with the advent of social media. And we see things coming out now. So when you say constable, people may automatically, because of years of training, think it's a male, not knowing if it's a male or female, and more than likely will attribute it to the male. So it will be more in benefit of the male. So it is not, I don't think it is a transformative move. It is not. We can bask in our womanhood, we can bask in our femininity while being lauded, while being highly commended, while being praised. A woman who fears the Lord ought to be praised. I want people to understand the word that I'm using and the meaning behind it. That's not a big move. Wow, I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest with you, Commissioner. I'm really disappointed. I was hoping that something as it relates to crime and violence, even if it is in a particular area, because people don't understand that crime and violence is very vast. It is wide. You have violent acts, criminal acts, some that are not, that I love to use this low tier, mid tier, high tier, very, very high tier, sort of a thing. I would, even if we want to focus on one particular element of something criminal or violent, then, that would have been good. It's a step in the right direction. But the gender-based titles, that's irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. I personally feel it actually will take away from highlighting the different positivities, the different contributions that the female police officers would have given into the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And again, for me, a concern of mine is when the listing is being chosen, even though you may know the names, because you have some unisex names, on the basis of, culture, it is a part of our mantra. And I'm not saying that we can't unlearn and relearn, but, you're choosing a set of people to go on certain operations, and it may not necessarily be fitting for a female in this sense, and that's fine. Just as how you don't generally find males at baby showers, generally, and that's fine. Why is it that we have a problem with difference? Difference is good. I like the fact that I'm a female and I'm different from a male. I like it. There are certain benefits to being a female, as well as there are certain benefits to being a male. I'm okay with the difference. Why we can't praise differences? While we're granting equity and fairness. Equality may not necessarily be right for this particular move. It takes away from the very transformation that you want to create. It's not archaic. It is not what should I say, something folly to say woman constable, woman sergeant, woman inspector, woman, DCP, woman, ASP, ACP, whatever it may be. No, 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 sir. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest with you. You know, guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube.